So tonight I made an adaptive green Thai curry with nothing but some vegetables that I had in my fridge, 2 crayfish which I dived out of the sea, and a whole bunch of ingredients. Serving it on basmati rice. It's got coconut milk in, it's got a really nice oriental flavour, smells delicious, and I want you guys to watch the rest of the video, see how it's done. Arabella wine gets its name from the Arabian horses, and quite frankly I don't know why you'd name this wine after a horse because it tastes nothing like one. It is lovely, and it's what I'm going to be drinking while I film this episode. Cool, so we are doing crayfish. Now, these lovely East Coast rock lobsters are something that I pulled out of the sea myself. I got the thumb scars to prove it. Nice thing about it is they're delicious, they're fresh, they're from the ocean, they're organic, completely pesticide free, and we've got to cook them. Now, when most people prep crayfish, unfortunately they try and do everything raw, but I want to show you the easy way. So what I want you to do is get a pot boiling with water. It's got a nice rolling boil, and we're going to deposit our lovely 2 bugs, as we colloquially call them, into this pot of water for no more than 2 minutes. And that's 2 minutes. So, want to take them out, you can use some tongs and stick them into some cold water to stop the cooking process. But if you have a look, their flesh is white, their shells are orange, their eyes are opaque, and they smell so good. It's going to plop them straight into some cold water, cool them down a little bit, stop the cooking process. The trick to breaking down a crayfish is quite literally to first give them a bit of a cook. Breaking down a raw crayfish is super difficult. Breaking down a part cooked crayfish, easy. Cool. So, to break down a crayfish, all the crayfish meat is stuck here, in the tail. It's quite literally a case of you want to get this guy off, you want to get this part clean. This part over here has got some tasty morsels to it, but not as much as the tail. All you really want to do, get a nice firm grip on the tail, twist, pull, crayfish tail comes out. Simple. There's still a bit of things in there, but I'm going to leave that for a little bit later. Let's do it with both these guys quickly. Oh, look at all the good meat. Alrighty-o. Once you've done that, you've got to get this thing out here. This is the crayfish's poo string. If you can see that, it's relatively easy to do. We just cut this little piece over there. And it should just pull out. Don't put this with the crayfish heads because that's just gross. Same thing over here. Poo string. Stab it in the knot. Slice up. And it pulls out. Super simple. Right, but we're not actually after the shell, we're not after anything else but the meat on the inside. So what I'm going to do is cut this in half, and this gets a bit tricky. Make sure you got a sharp knife and make sure you got a good command of the thing, because it mustn't slip. If it slips, you will get hurt. Alright, cut in half, and then just like that, the crayfish meat comes out. Now, a lot of people would also tell you that there's a fair amount of meat in a crayfish leg, but I'll be honest with you, there isn't that much. But if you just cut the points off and then squeeze it out here, you'll see how much meat is in a crayfish leg. Not a lot, but if you've got a lot of people to feed, that little bit does make a difference. However, we're going to keep these parts, and I'm going to show you guys in a later video how to make a quick crayfish bisque. Right, so there are our crayfish tails pulled out. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a quick, very simple, almost type of green Thai curry-ish crayfish dish. To the kitchen. We've got our crayfish tails. I don't want small pieces, so I'm literally just going to hack these into like chunks. There's some fairly decent sized chunks, not for 2 people. But if a crayfish has got berries on it, I'll see if I can find a picture of crayfish berries to insert here. We leave them alone so they can breed. And The great thing is, if we look after the oceans looks after us. This is a green bean. Green beans are delicious, but however there are two parts of a green bean that aren't delicious. That part there, which you just pull off, and that part there, which you just pull off. And now you have a delicious green bean. In the industry we call that topping and tailing. Top and tail your beans, folk. Doesn't take that long. Right, so now we're just going to put together our quick Thai curry, and just going to make it with some of the vegetables that I had in my fridge. Namely leeks, green beans and cauliflower. So to start off with, I'm going to grab a tablespoon of coconut oil. I love this stuff. Put a dollop in there. Right. So now that the oil is nice and hot, I'm going to throw in our leeks. Get that with a bit of a fry on the go. To which I'm now going to add le crayfish. Alright. Oh, I wish you guys could see it. This is going to be the basis of our Thai sort of flavouring. This is crushed coriander, ginger, garlic, lemongrass and chilli. I'm just going to put in some. I'm going to put in half a teaspoon of turmeric. It's going to make everything yellow. And a shake of ground cumin. Or two. Have a sip of wine. Stab open a can of coconut milk. Right, so now that we've got everything sort of simmered down, it smells delish. Added some salt and pepper to taste. Let's put a little bit of rice in the bowl. Using a basmati rice. Dish some of the goodness up. I'll find the crayfish. Get a bigger spoon for the sauce on my shopping list.